1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can everybody hear me? All right. I'm Corporal Dion Washington from the Gwinnett County Police Department. We can confirm at this point that we have identified the person who made threats to participate in a shooting at the Mall of Georgia today. The individual is a 16-year-old male, and police have made contact with him. At this point, our primary objective is to gain additional information for any potential criminal charges that may be made. At this point, he has not been taken into custody, but we know exactly who he is, we know where he lives, and again, we're working to solidify the information about what took place. This information was brought to our attention yesterday by a concerned citizen who was participating in an online gaming chat room when he observed statements made by someone who he was gaming with to participate in this shooting, which would be today at 3 p.m. The male also made statements regarding the amount of people that would be shot, and also that he would commit suicide after the shooting. We understand that this is an alarming situation for the general public, and due to the magnitude of those types of threats, we deployed numerous both uniform and tactical undercover resources within the Mall of Georgia for the majority of the day. Being that we have made contact with the individual, we're starting to scale back our presence at the Mall of Georgia, and we believe that the Mall of Georgia is in absolutely no danger. So again, I want to urge that we know who this individual is. We made contact with him. We're working to solidify the investigation for any forthcoming criminal charges, and there's no danger at the mall.
Any indication why you made the threat?
At this point, that's still under investigation. We don't know. We hope that we're able to answer those questions, but I'd like to stress that we don't want citizens to panic and be fearful of shopping at the mall. We have the situation under control. We have the resources to deal with threats like this, and that's why we deployed those resources today.
How did you track him down?
I'm not going to go into the specifics of the investigative tools that were used to figure out who this person was, but again, I can tell you that we've made contact with him, and we're working to solidify the criminal investigation.
Did you say he was local?
I don't have a specific address on him yet, but I can tell you, yes, he is in the metro area.
Are charges likely?
Again, I don't want to be overzealous. As you know, it takes evidence to charge someone with a crime, and that's what our detectives are working to do right now, is gain as much evidence as possible for a potential charge in the future.
What potential could he face?
Well, due to the magnitude of the statements that were made, the most likely charge would be terroristic threats or acts. But again, he's not in custody at this point, and no charges have been made thus far.
Talk about the resources, like how many extra officers did you have to put in there in the mall?
Well, I don't want to go into the specific numbers, but I can tell you that a substantial amount of resources were used due to the magnitude of the threats that were made. This is obviously very disturbing, and we would want to ensure the safety of the public and make sure that anyone that wishes to exploit something like this knows that we're capable of handling a situation like this, and we're going to investigate it to the fullest extent. I'd also like to applaud I'd like to applaud the citizen who came forward with this information, because that's very important. It takes a two-way relationship between the community and police to ensure that things like this don't happen.
Do we know if he was working with anyone else or anything like that?
Again, all those questions will be answered as the investigation unfolds, but right now we believe that only one person was involved, and that person is a juvenile male. We've made contact with them, and there's no imminent danger to the Mall of Georgia.
How important is it for you guys to talk to their kids about the kind of language they use online?
It's very important. Obviously, due to the magnitude of where we are in the national climate, statements like this do cause alarm. And it's alarm that makes sense. That's why we're investigating the matter. We take claims like this very seriously, and we're going to do our part to ensure that the safety of the citizens in this county and anyone who travels through it is maintained.
And this is really sort of the definition of see something, say something, right?
Exactly, definitely. I mean, anyone who sees statements that they themselves interpret as alarming and dangerous, we urge them to contact their local police department immediately so that we can do our part to protect the community.
All right, Corporal Washington, a quick question. We initially got several calls into our newsroom. When we called them all, they said it was just a training, but then you guys were able to confirm it. Where was the lapse in communication?
I can't speak to that, but I can tell you that we're working hand in hand with the mall to ensure the safety of the patrons that shop in the mall from day to day. Due to the integrity of the investigation, obviously there are some things that we can't disclose at this point, but hopefully in the forthcoming days we're able to iron out exactly why this individual made those threats and figure out exactly if there will or will not be criminal charges filed.
What specifically was the avenue for the threat? And you said online chat room. What?
Yes, to my knowledge, it was an online gaming chat room. That's how it was described to me, and I don't know the specific name, and I don't know what type of medium he was using to participate in this chat room.
And was the person who turned him in, was it just someone who happened to be on at the time, or was it a friend of his who might have been in the chat with him?
Yes, it's my understanding that the person who is the complainant was on the gaming chat room at the same time.
Someone who just happened to be in the room but doesn't necessarily know the suspect?
That's correct.
Now, did he actually go towards the mall at all today, or did he just make a threat and you guys found out before? Or?
That's correct. We made contact with the individual. At no point in time did he ever come near the Mall of Georgia. And again, I just want to stress the mall is in no danger. It's safe for people to shop and dine at. And, you know, again, we're working to solidify the criminal investigation, and that's pretty much it. That's all we have.